Man, what is happening, my YouTube family? Of course, it is your boy B New. I'm coming at you on this Friday. And first and foremost, as always, want to send out positive vibrations and blessings to anybody who could be listening. Now, with all that being said, we all know that it's been a lot of trades going down in the NBA as of late, and we want to jump right in and talk about the Lakers trade that they made. Forgive me for not coming to you the past 2 days at the trade deadline. I just had a whole lot of things going on into which I just absolutely did not have the time for that. I do apologize, but I'm here for you now, baby, because we got a lot to get into, and I'm going to give you my take on what I feel about the Lakers, and as well as, of course, the big trade that went down between the Phoneix Suns with Kevin Durant, and the Brooklyn Nets and everything else. But, my biggest takeaway, and of course, we got a lot to talk about. The Lakers were in action on yesterday against the Milwaukee Bucks without the likes of LeBron James and the rest of the newly acquired Lakers, who some of them were on the bench yesterday. But at the end of the day, I feel like the Lakers, I had to get them at least an A. As far as these trades for what they made, because if you just really think about it and look at it, you got to look at what all they added and what all they took away. You add a D'Angelo Russell, somebody who is capable of shooting threes, somebody who is capable of distributing the ball, creating plays, and making plays for themselves. The same with Malik Beasley. And then you got Jarrett Vanderbilt and Bamba, who both can give you what you need as far as in the front court. These are legitimate NBA players, something the Lakers have been lacking. People that can come in and actually make substantial impacts within your rotation. So, Mo Bamba, we know what he's capable of. He can stretch the floor as a big man as well because he can hit three-pointers. And we're going to talk about Thomas Bryant and why he requested a trade in just a moment, because I do got some things I need to say about that. But also, the Lakers, they got 2 second-round picks. So you got to think about it. Then you got addition plus by subtraction. I don't know if y'all know about that, but it's called addition by subtraction, because sometimes you can get better by losing something. You ever had some dead weight you had to get rid of, and now you got rid of it, and now you better. So I'm going to say it like this. Westbrook, now I'm taking in with the Achimura trade as well. Westbrook is gone. Nunn is gone. Juan Toscano Anderson is gone. Thomas Bryant is gone. And Pat Bev is gone. Now, that is all music to our ears. People that follow and watch the Lakers on a nightly basis, who recognize all the things that's going on with all of the players that I mentioned. And I failed to mention, I think, Damian Jones, who I actually felt like maybe could have used a little more playing time. I don't feel like he got a fair shake. I think Thomas Bryant was playing well offensively, and they went straight to him. But I don't understand if they didn't see Thomas Bryant was getting murdered at the rim. He couldn't stop anybody. His feet are too slow to stop anybody at the rim. His pick and roll defense is atrocious. So, adios to him. He requested a trade because he felt like he wouldn't get enough playing time. And we know once Anthony Davis came back, he went down to one game where he only had 3 minutes, which I did think was crazy. And not once did we see what Darvin Ham had mentioned that he would do. And that was the pairing of Anthony Davis and Thomas Bryant in the lineup at once. So maybe there was words being said with that. Just end up becoming a disgruntled locker room. We heard the things that's been said about Russell Westbrook as far as him being a vampire. I don't know if I would go that far, but at the end of the day, when you have a cancer in the locker room, and you got to think about this. Let's just go way back, man, because a lot of people just look at this as basketball. You have to understand it's feelings involved. We are all creatures, light beings, emotional beings, and you have to see that even leading into the season when Westbrook showed up for not training camp, but I don't know if it was summer league, whatever. The Lakers playing summer league, remember? And LeBron showed up. Westbrook on one end, LeBron on the other end. So you could already see there was a severed relationship based off arguments that were had between him, Anthony Davis, and Westbrook on last year when the Lakers weren't doing well and Westbrook was having a horrible season. So people can blame LeBron. They can do whatever they want, but at the end of the day, Russell Westbrook has now had 5 teams in 5 seasons. So that should speak to where he is in his career and what he can provide to an NBA team. Don't get me wrong, I loved how he pushed the pace, and I did advocate for him to stay just because his contract could run out and you could eliminate that contract, and then you would have a lot of cap space. But what the Lakers did, they didn't take on too much in salary, and they still were able to remove a lot of salary And they were able to get second-round compensation picks for another disgruntled player who didn't want to be there and that they did not need because they got the likes of a Mo Bamba and they got the likes of Vanderbilt. Now, you know Vanderbilt and Mo Bamba both are capable of really playing pretty good defense. Both are capable of crashing the boards and can really, especially, spread the floor better than what Thomas Bryant could do. And of course, Pat Bev, even though he was coming on, Pat Bev is not the Lakers needed wing players. They needed people with size. And that was something that they were sorely lacking, especially in these crazy 3-guard lineups that Darvin Ham was putting on the floor, because to me, that still absolutely made no sense whatsoever, because you have now Achimura. And as you can see last night, the Lakers played pretty well, although the Bucks were shooting pretty bad from 3-point on some open threes in the first half and eventually able to close that gap. But the way the Lakers hung in there the entire game, and if Anthony Davis, dare I say, not been in foul trouble, reminiscent of when he was in foul trouble the last time, I think maybe against Denver. I can't remember who it was, but he has to stay out of foul trouble when he's playing other marquee players. He's being matched up with Lopez, and you're asking Gabriel to match up with Giannis. Now, I think, they were building a wall. They were doing pretty good as far as defending him as a team and closing out on shooters. So I like their defensive effort. So I think the chemistry of the team is going to start to come together. My only fear is there's not enough games left in the season to build the chemistry. Now, the Lakers have really gone to 6 games under 500 now, which is not good. Of course, Portland and all these other teams, Minnesota, you think they'll start to take steps back, but you just never know. So everything's going to have to shake themselves out. The Lakers can only worry about themselves. But this is my hot take. Before I talk about the Kevin Durant trade, this is my hot take. And people, you can call me an optimist. You can call me whatever you want to call me. But what I like to say is, first, I want to pose a question. When was the last time that LeBron James had a legitimate point guard on his squad? When was the last time LeBron James had a legitimate point guard on his squad? You have to say it was Kyrie Irving during the Cleveland years. Even if the first 3 years with Kyrie, we know the last year in Cleveland didn't even have Kyrie, had George Hill, and still at that age was able to drag that team to the finals against the great Golden State Warriors, who, we all know the story, went out and grabbed Kevin Durant in order to take down LeBron. And even at that point, but at the end of the day, when LeBron has a good point guard, he tends to flourish. Somebody he can count on. That's why him and Kyrie were so good, because Kyrie could find LeBron, despite what many people think. LeBron is capable of cutting. He's capable of playing off the ball. He doesn't always have to control the ball, even though in most cases he does. You know why? Because he's had to. With the Lakers, when they won the championship that year, who was the point guard? It was LeBron. That's how they won the championship. And since then, when they brought in Shooter, what happened? When they brought in, who else? I know they had Lonzo Ball that first year that, we won't really count that because of the injury to LeBron with the groin and all of this. And I think Lonzo was injured a lot that season as well. But I will say this. Even in Miami, you had a Chalmers who knew his role, but wasn't even nearly as good. But what made up for that, as good as D'Angelo Russell is who I'm talking about. But what made up for that was the playmaking abilities of Dwayne Wade. Even though he was a 2-guard, he was able to handle the rock, run plays, get people in position, and always find a cut in LeBron James, especially on fast breaks. So Austin Reeves came back last night. He looked great. I think that's going to help Lonnie Walker look better. I think these players was playing better because now the trade deadline is over. They can put some things behind them. And dare I say, had LeBron James played last night, the Lakers would have been just fine. I think they could have really pulled out that victory. So we're going to see tomorrow night against Golden State. They're going to be minus the Warriors. The Lakers really need to go out and win this game. We're going to see what they really made of. It's going to be a hostile environment in Oracle. We already know that. So, LeBron James needs to be prepared to take them on. And I'm pretty sure that we will be seeing the likes of D'Angelo Russell. I think D'Angelo Russell will be able to have himself available tomorrow and has passed any kind of physical that he needed to pass in order to actually join the Lakers and officially play. Now, I still didn't quite get into the hot take. So back to what I was saying is LeBron hadn't really had that point guard. But when he had Kyrie, he flourished. So now you have D'Angelo Russell, who is capable of doing these things. And I hope that he gets the starting job immediately and is not given to Dennis Schroeder. I would like a starting lineup of D'Angelo Russell, point guard, either Austin Reeves or Lonnie Walker at the 2 guard, both capable of creating shots for themselves, shooting open threes. And Austin Reeves, I think, is a little bit better of a defender than Lonnie Walker, who seems to be improving on the defensive end. But also, in the 3 spot, you would add size with Hachimura as a good wing defender who can also shoot the 3 when open. And LeBron at the 4. Enough said. AD at the 5. Now you have a very formidable starting lineup. And then off the bench, you can have Schroeder in his rightful place. You wonder why the Lakers struggle night in and night out, even though he looked better last night, even though maybe he got the monkey off his back. But, of Russell Westbrook being there, I'm not sure how their relationship was. But you have to realize that would be much better for him to be in his rightful spot coming off the bench. And then you still would have either Lonnie Walker or Austin Reeves coming off the bench, depending on which one of those you started. You're still going to have, let's not forget, the new additions of Vanderbilt, Malik Beasley, and you might even have Malik Beasley start, but I doubt that considering he's new coming over to the team. It probably will be Austin Reeves or Lonnie Walker. I'm interested to see who that'll be. But, of course, then you have Vanderbilt coming in off the bench, and, of course, Mo Bamba. These players are going to be great rotation pieces, so the Lakers won't fall off every time LeBron James goes to sit on the bench and then teams start to go for these crazy runs, because that's the last thing that you really want to see for the Lakers is them not have good rotation pieces. But it seems like that has been the case for quite some time. So, anyway, more to the Kevin Durant trade. I ranked that a damn good trade for Phoenix. They gave up a whole lot. I think it was 4 first-rounders, if I'm not mistaken. That's a lot to give up for a player that has been injury-prone the past several years. But, hey, Phoneix Suns hadn't won the championship in over 50-something years. So, if it can bring you a championship, then do that. I think it's a good fit because Kevin Durant already said he don't want to be the alpha dog, and we all know that's Devin Booker's team. So you got Devin Booker on one wing, Kevin Durant on the other. You can do some damage. And, of course, Chris Paul anchoring the offense. You already know what he'll be capable of doing. So you have 3 players capable of closing, which is very important in the NBA. So I think that's going to make them a very dangerous team. But at the end of the day, this is the Western Conference where people are deep. And I think they gave up a lot by, Cam Johnson, probably your best defender. You lose Mikal Bridges, who I feel like is the best defender. You lose Cam Johnson as well. You also lose, what's my boy name? Jay Crowder. You lose Jay Crowder, who actually ended up getting sent to Milwaukee, which I think is going to be a great addition for them. That's something Milwaukee needs. That's going to be key because, they still got Portis. And then with Crowder, I think that's definitely going to boost their bench and get them the depth that they need. But now that the majority of the talent has moved to the West, I think that Milwaukee and Philly will be the 2 teams more than likely to battle it out in the Eastern Conference to see who comes out of the East. But in the West, I still think it's wide open. I know everybody want to count the Lakers out. I'm not going to do it just yet until they mathematically eliminated, because a lot of these lower seeds are going to be playing each other in the next few weeks, beating up on one another. So it's going to be see who can begin to separate themselves. And with the Lakers' new acquired pieces, how quickly they can develop chemistry, especially during the All-Star break. Maybe they can come together, get some good practices in, even though traditionally it's a time for you to go on a break. But if they decide, hey, this is something we really want to do, we want to go for a push and see how far we can make it in the playoffs. First of all, if we can make the playoffs, because they lost 2 very important games, that to OKC and that to New Orleans. And I think that's what really made Anthony Davis upset. And he can say what he wants to, but he knew with the crowd electrified when he came back from the tunnel what was going on. But if he was mad they was losing, it is what it is. That's your homie, but that's good. We want to see you like that, Anthony Davis. Step your ass up and play then. Step it up and play then. Because during that particular game, you could say they was force-feeding LeBron. I beg to differ. You had opportunities in that game to step up. So we're going to see Saturday night, all eyes on you, all eyes on LeBron. I'm ready to see this new Lakers lineup. What they have in action. Golden State somehow got Gary Payton Jr. back, so that's going to be a good boost for them. They did give up Wiseman. They gave up Wiseman and got Sadiq Bey, but then they sent Sadiq Bey, I believe, to Orlando for, 3 second-round picks or whatever. I don't know, whatever it was, but it was a lot of second-rounders getting sent around the NBA at that trade deadline, and that was just for people to have future compensation for other trades. It's basically what a second-rounder boiled down to, unless you end up getting a high second-round pick, what really good is it doing? Clippers, the ones who really made a move. To me, the Clippers, 2 second-round picks. They end up getting Eric Gordon. They sent Gennard to the Grizzlies, but they got Bones Highland, which I think is a great shooter. We know what he's capable of. He was disgruntled in that Denver locker room, but not only did they get Bones Highland, they got Mason Plumlee, who I think is going to be a perfect backup for Zubac. They got rid of John Wall, but they got Bones Highland. I think they're going to be dangerous. Who knows? There's some murmuring that if Westbrook gets bought out, that they might seek to add him so he can still stay in L.A. We know he bought a big crib out there, so who knows? Because the Clippers did give up Reggie Jackson in that trade, so we shall see. But at the end of the day, man, it's just so much to talk about. Trying to think who else, what other teams have made any significant noise other than Phoenix. The Clippers, of course, the Celtics got Muscala. That's going to be a great addition for them, a great shooter. We saw what he did with OKC the other night. But going back to these Lakers, I'm telling you, D'Angelo Russell, I'm not saying he a Kyrie Irving, but he is a capable point guard who is a playmaker. And I think that's going to vastly improve the Lakers' chances, especially in late game situations when you have somebody, LeBron has somebody he can depend on when he gets penetration and kicks it out. You got people that's shooting at a 40-point clip. We got to know Malik Beasley been doing the same. He's taken the most threes in the NBA the past 2 years, so I'm told. He's shooting at a decent clip, 38, 39%, I believe, just like D'Angelo Russell. So that's going to make the Lakers formidable. Let's just see if they did it in enough time. Rob Pelinka should have been trying to make these moves. But, of course, sometimes you got to wait till the deadline because that's when teams get desperate, as you can see. And that's why a lot of teams made these moves. But either way, we're going to continue to talk about it. I'm going to come back to y'all live for the live stream on me tomorrow after the Lakers defeat the Golden State Warriors is what I'm hoping. So at the end of the day, man, this your boy B New. I'm saying right on to the real. Much love to these haters. You know I'm out.